Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching a retro review, we'll say, of the 1992 movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Can't say classic, can you? Honestly, this is a highly skippable movie, even as a huge fan of the television show. This thing is yeah. Well, you know what? It's not skippable. It's something you should watch. This is something everybody should have to watch. It's almost like a punishment. It will allow you to enjoy the television series of Buffy the Vampire Slayer much more. And if you're going to be enjoying Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the television series, why don't you do it with us at the Rewatchers Council, starting very soon, right here on the LGRN network. I guess N is already in the title, but fine. LGR, Let's Get Ready Network. We'll be rewatching it from the beginning. Myself, friend Adelia, our pal Ferris, maybe other people, who knows? But this is going to be coming very soon. Or if you're watching this in the future, it's already happened. Go back and watch it. Why not? I'm sure it's great and hilarious, and I bet you I look younger and younger every episode. But let's get talking about the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, Whedon wrote the movie. I believe it was his first time writing a movie by himself. He was also, I believe, Oscar nominated for helping write Toy Story. I believe that came after, but it's directed by Fran Rubel-Kazooie. Her and her husband Kaz produced the movie. That's why you'll see on every episode of Buffy and Angel, producer credits go to Fran Rubel and Kaz Kazooie. For only reason is they helped set up the movie. They had zero to do with the television show, and thank goodness. The movie, let's just say it looks terrible. It looks awful. Each episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer looks better. Each one. I'm sure with a minuscule budget compared to the movie, they managed to just. It looks like it was done on a high school like Betamax or something like that. Somebody filming it like this. Looks terrible even for 1992. Let's go into some of the stars of the movie. Of course, we're having Christy Swanson as Buffy, and honestly, she's fine. She's not a bad Buffy at all. If she would have continued on to the show, I'm sure it could have worked a little bit. But of course, in this movie, they have Buffy as a senior, so she looks a little older than a freshman would, I guess, in high school, even in 1992. Means that Buffy would have been my age. Oh my goodness. Yeah, by far, not the worst thing about this movie. I think Christy Swanson did a fine job, except for, of course, when it comes to like the fight scenes. I guess the choreography, not great, guys. It's not great. It is, high school level movie fights. Now, they also had Luke Perry. Luke Perry, I think, was a big draw to the. Should have been a big draw to the movie. The success of 90210. He was in his prime, and this movie didn't work for him. He's Pike in the movie. I guess potential love interest slash original Scooby guy for Buffy. He doesn't, and Luke Perry's fine and stuff like that, but it didn't. This did not help his movie career at all. I can honestly only think of one other Luke Perry movie, and that's that 8 Seconds, that bull riding movie, which he was fine. All right, the movie's fine. Better than this movie. Let's go into some of the other names. Of course, Paul Reubens, better known, of course, as Pee Wee Herman. It's the main henchman, bad guy, Annalyn. Now, this is Paul Reubens coming off of his notorious arrest for being too excited, I would say, at a movie theater. Still sporting the same goatee from his mugshot, which I think is a look. I think he is good. A couple funny lines. Ziggy is definitely not Pee-wee in this movie. But I guess let's go. Like, this is a full spoiler thing, guys. If you guys don't want to know what happened in the 1992 movie, I think it's too late if you watch this. I got to tell you a few things that happened. Anna Lynn is killed towards the end of the movie. His death scene goes on for a good 45 seconds. It's just him going, uh, uh, the death scenes in this movie and in the television series are way different. These ones, the vampires just get staked and they kind of drop down. At least in the TV series, you get a little poof and they disappear into a cloud of dust. Not this, and this, they're dead. They just lie down. That's fine. And also talking about the vampires in the television show, you see a whole kind of face change, and their nose gets all messed up and look evil and stuff like that. Here, like their ears get look different. They look more like a cartoon, like vampire bats or something like that. It was a look. It wasn't a good look, I guess, but it was a look. Going into more of the movie again, this is taking place in they say Southern California at times or whatever. They mention Los Angeles. They never really say it's Los Angeles, but basically it's Los Angeles. Her school, the mascots are hogs, so that's one thing they have in common between the two series is both mascots are pigs. Razorback in the series, much more dangerous, and then just hogs in the movie for some reason. Now, Buffy starts out more of a Cordelia type in this show, much more stuck up and into herself, and that's where she meets her first watcher, Merrick. Merrick, played by Donald Sutherland, a guy Joss Whedon refers to as a dick. I guess Whedon got so pissed off with Sutherland being a jerk and rewriting most of his scenes that he walked off the movie, never came back. This is the first movie he ever wrote, so good for you, Donald Sutherland. Canadian, by the way. So at least we can't take that away from him. Now, Merrick, there's a couple of differences with the way the Watchers work in the series and in this movie. For some reason, Merrick in this keeps being reborn as well. I think that's how they tried to describe it. I guess I don't know if his spirit just goes into different bodies or something like that, and he keeps training the Slayers, and he has for generations and generations. Now, Buffy is reliving past Slayers' lives and stuff like that, although they all seem like Buffy. This is something that also happens in the show. So this is something that was taken as well. It doesn't always happen. She doesn't always have these flashbacks to former Slayers' lives and stuff like that, but it's something that does happen. Now, we meet Buffy's parents, who are together in this movie. We see them a couple times. Mom, played by Candy Clark. No relation, guys. No relation. I was happy to see her. Of course, I was a big fan of Blue Thunder when I was a kid, and the Man Who Fell to Earth, the David Bowie movie. I saw that a little later in life. So yeah, it was fun to see her. The two Joyces could not be. Well, and this one is just Buffy's mom. Here's another thing: Buffy isn't called Buffy Summers; it's just Buffy. I think Buffy Summers is the name they came up with when it moves to television. But yeah, Joyce is, and actually both parents don't seem to be involved in Buffy's life very much. Joyce seems to be like a life of the party, it seems, and certainly doesn't seem like the museum curator that she is in the television show. Now, Buffy is finds out or is born with a mark in this movie, the mark of the coven, which is a big hairy mole. I guess that's how you denoted vampire slayers back in there. That's how they could be found out, like the 666 in back of the Antichrist head or something like that. But of course, Buffy had it removed. in a totally Buffy way. Uh, Now, the main villain. Let's get into the creepiest part of this movie. The main villain, Lothos, portrayed by Rutger Hauer. When I say creepy, the most creepy part about it is this weird pencil thin mustache he has, like a blonde mustache, and then they just make up over it. And if you haven't seen Rutger Hauer with a pencil thin blonde mustache before, then you're in for a treat with this film, because yeah, it is, I'd like to say, ghastly. Is that too hard of a thing to say? But a person's appearance, but guys, not great. uh, So, anyways, it's all been Lothos and his henchman Annalyn that are the two main focus of evil. And actually, Lothos kills Merrick. All right. Partway through the thing, Buffy is very attached to Merrick for some reason. They've been trained. There's montages and stuff like that. They get all the 90s tropes in. I thought they looked like they were only together for about a month, but it seemed to hit her pretty hard. But she goes on. This vampire has been hunting slayers for hundreds of years, but fortunately, Buffy has no problem getting rid of them at all. It really wasn't a problem. The end, guys. There isn't really much to say about this movie. Let's go on to a couple of things. I believe this is a motion picture debut for David Arquette, plays Luke Perry's buddy Benny. I thought David Arquette was very David Arquette. He was fine. He was good. Yeah, if you're expecting to see David Arquette in a movie, you will not be disappointed. One thing that I had seen this movie a long time ago, and rewatching it now, I see Stephen Root as the principal, and he also delivers. It's a great Stephen Root performance, a typical Stephen Root performance, but it's great. And as a principal of a school that Buffy goes to, he manages to do pretty good for himself. It could have been worse, guys. It could have been a lot worse for him. Let's see, who else? Hilary Swank. I believe this is her first role as well. She's one of Buffy's buddies, their crew, but are they really Buffy? Everybody kind of stabs each other in the back. Her name's Kimberly. Again, it's a good performance from here. Did she look like a future two-time Oscar winner in this? I would say no. But yeah, what do you want? It's her first movie, guys. Let's see. Yeah, really, there's a couple other performances that are good. There's a guy named Mark DiCarlo who's a comedian. I think he hosted like some 90s game shows or something like that as well. He's very good as the coach. Affleck shows up. Ben Affleck has one quick scene. This must have been one of his first roles as well. Quick thing of vampire takes a ball from him, a la, kind of Teen Wolfy. Or if it's basketball, I guess. Yeah, basketball is Teen Wolf, right? Teen Wolf 2 was the boxing one. Yeah, takes the basketball away, and you'd swear that he got his line like dubbed over. Like, it doesn't sound like Affleck to me. What's much? Oh yes, here's another thing. A huge swerve away from the television show. For some reason, Buffy has like spider sense when it comes to evil, and that spider sense, PMS cramps. I gotta think we did not write that part. I would imagine that was something that was added in. It certainly wasn't taken over to the television show. Another thing not taken over to the television show, something that's mentioned in the first episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the television show, which a little title called Welcome to the Hellmouth. The school doesn't burn down. Supposedly, in the series, they leave LA after she burns the gym down, getting rid of vampires. And this one, she just kills some, beats them up. Guys, the whole end scene was not really done well. And it's not a huge shock to people when I looked through IMDb to look what else has Fran Rubel Kazooie done. And it looks like the only thing of note she ever did after this was, I think, Orgasmo. I think she was just a producer on that. If you haven't seen Orgasmo, go see Orgasmo before you go see this one. Orgasmo is better. Orgasmo is great by any means. Great theme song. But better than Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. 1992. Oh my gosh, 31 years. Well, it didn't age well. Guys, so I mentioned before, Let's Get Ready Network, the Rewatchers Council coming up quickly. Here's a message from our pal Justin. Going to tell you how you can help us and help support the show.
Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Hambone, just here to let you know a couple of things that we have going on with the channel. One, we have a Patreon. If you can and want to support us, you can do that. As little as $1. You can join the Discord. We also have a merch store where you can get some cool shirts, mugs, and stuff with all of our different shows and labels on there. And thank you for all of our supporters that have already been there with us.
Thanks, Hambone. So yeah, guys, in summary, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Watch it if you're a completist. There's some Buffy-esque dialogue. What's the sitch? Or you broke up with my machine. There's things in there that you can see. There's a Buffy-ness to it. But in general, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and luckily enough, it was told, is not canon, even though, some of the things kind of pop up every now and then. Buffy the Vampire Slayer could be standalone. It is nowhere near as good as the show. Let's rate it. Let's give it a 2.5. Let's give it a 2. Yeah, it is not great. It is not something I would recommend. But if you want to watch it or whatever, go ahead. What am I? What am I to you? I could tell you what to do with your own life? Am I supposed to tell you? Do what I say? By the way, I'm trying to hypnotize you when I do this, so you will do what I say. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Please rewatch with us at the Rewatchers Council coming very soon. Let's Get Ready Network, and I hope to see you then.